Basically, welcome to another episode on Airsoft Masters, and just like I told you guys before, the ARP 3.0 basically is already sold out. By the time you're also watching this, even the 2.0 is sold out. So let's go ahead and get into this review before these two guys are gone. What's up guys, and welcome back to Airsoft Masters, and today we're going to be talking about is the ARP 2.0. While recording these sessions, we are literally left to like 2 ARPs out here. So basically get it while it's hot during this recording. Now, again, let's go ahead and talk about the front end of the rifle, as we always start off with, is that you have this nice, compact, but still long enough to hold, is the 7-inch M-LOK rail system that's skeletonized and brand new. Now what's nice about it compared to like the ARP 1.0, where it was very short, and even for me, I would have to hold basically right where the actual tip end of the ARP 1.0 was at. But now that they made it longer, it does help out to keep everything nice and still tight for that close quarter situations. What's also nice about it is on the M-LOK system, you have the position slots of basically your 3 o'clock, 6 o'clock, and 9 o'clock positions to put any other attachments such as rail segments, or even like the flashlight system that we have in front of us. What's also nice, what they also did for G&G, is they give you this nice hand stop that goes with it. Again, just to help out in keeping everything nice and tight. As well to that, outside the barrel, you're going to have is a 14mm counterclockwise to put any other flash hider or suppressors or even any other tracer unit once it's in there. What's nice about the hole from the rail segment itself on the top is you still have your 20mm picatinny rail on top for your optics on top, or if you want to put a back box on it to make it look nice. What's nice is it's also monolithic all the way through the receiver. Nice extra touches that you'll get from G&G. Now that we already talked about basically the front rail, let's go ahead and talk about the actual receiver itself and also the trademarks. So, in regards to the receiver, it's still the same traditional ARP 1.0 version, but again, don't fix what's not broken in this whole gun. So, what's nice about it is it's still that reinforced polymer all the way throughout. So don't worry about it for basically if you were to drop it or anything else. This stuff is still pretty rugged, and I mean, we know about G&G for being pretty durable and all throughout. Again, so the cool part is about this is it's nice and durable, and yet you still have the flared mag well to help out with assisting on that reload. What's nice about it is, again, it's easy to reload without even looking at it throughout the whole time, to even help out with assisting in it and guiding it through. Of course, just like the 1.0, you still have your basically your paddle magazine release on the end of it, which makes it somewhat basically ambidextrous when you want to remove it from left hand reload or even right hand reload. Again, the ambidextrous part is nice on there, but unfortunately that's not ambidextrous. It's the selector plate on the back end right here for the selector switch. It's usually for right-handed operation, but what's nice is, even though for me on the left hand, for my left-handers, you can still basically toggle it through using your index finger all the way throughout to help cycle the rifle itself. So basically, it's just a little bit of training, but something you guys can get used to in regards to that. So the gearbox that's basically inside the ARP 2.0, it's still the same traditional ARP gearbox from the 1.0, but here's the difference. Everyone basically will talk about the nice setup that they would have on the ARP, but what makes it actually different compared to the actual 1.0 to the 2.0 series? Well, specifically the improvements that they did was mainly the battery space. So the battery spaces on here is a lot more bigger than the traditional how it was in the 1.0. A lot of complaints were basically that it was hard to put the battery inside the buffer tube. Well, say no more guys, as we'll talk about that later on. But again, the good news is with it, all you have to do is basically once you actually put the rifle in for the traditional burst, just like the old one, you would hold it on semi for about 10 seconds until you would hear the audible beep. Once you hear that, then you can go ahead and it's on 3-round burst. To revert it back, all you need to do is basically put it on semi and revert the same direction as well. And you'd be good to go. So, where's the hop up again? Well, just like the ARP 1.0, once you pull your ambidextrous charging handle, it would reveal the rotary style hop up just like the 1.0 has in front. So what's nice about it is, again, you have that nice tunable rotary style hop up from G&G itself to help fine tune whatever weight BBs you're going to use all the way through the distance itself. So again, fine tune it, and basically you want to find that right straight away when it comes to this gun. Remember how I told you guys basically how G&G improved on the ARP 1.0 with the 2.0 on certain stuff to help out with battery space? Well, let me explain how they did that. This, guys, is their new, basically their V9 stock in regards of it, to help out with the battery space that we all need from the previous one, which is actually a lot nicer. But how did they do that? Well, they improved it by basically increasing the buffer tube and at the same time have that nice skeletonized stock that we all know from the previous ARP 1.0. So how do we basically get into it though? Here's the cool part. You have this latch here underneath that basically just opens up the system itself. You would basically flip the switch to open, pull down the tab, and then there's a back end button right here where the stock's at to pull the whole stock brace off, which reveals your Tamiya connector and inside the MOSFET itself to put the battery space. Now, what's nice about the battery space inside is you can actually put an 1100 LiPo battery with ease in there, and so it helps out all the way through. Again, with the little MOSFET that's inside in regards to the improvement as well, from the new one compared to the old one, there's a lot more space, but again, just to help out, carefully put your battery in because that also might damage the actual wiring inside. But again, it is a lot easier compared to how it was in the back in the 1.0 series. Remember how I told you guys about the ARP 3.0, how basically you would have this multi-channel stack system to hold in that tiny little magazine 68 rounds. Here's the best part. The ARP 2.0 comes with a 170 multi-channel rounds in the actual mid-cap magazine. Again, the mid-cap magazines for these guys hold 170 rounds, which is a lot better how back in the day compared to the old 90 rounds that it would be able to hold in this. Again, that's the nice part about it as well. As per the compatibility for basically parts-wise, I have two specific rifles in regards of it that basically shows the upgraded parts. For example, this guy's stock with the rotary hop-up and the 168mm inner barrel is coming standard in the G&G. But if you want to upgrade it, you can't go wrong with the one that we have here, which has the Prometheus rotary style chamber and at the same time a 603 Lilacs 229, which literally gets it to right on the tip end of the actual flash hider. Can't go wrong with that neither. But again, let's go ahead and get to the parts compatibility of the magazine itself and see what actually would fit. So we have our G&G ARP magazine, which we all know fits fine. The PTS ARP magazines fits fine as well. Now, let's talk about the Lancer Tactical magazine itself. Yes, they do fit, but the problem is when we tested these, this does not want to feed at all in regards of getting into the chamber. So, if you have your ARP magazines or your PTS ARP magazines from the previous rifle that you bought or want to get it, just make sure that it's the G&G or the PTS magazines that you get for it. If you get the Lancers, it's not going to feed, unfortunately. Today I'm using .20 gram BBs on the ARP 2.0. So when we chrono these guns, we're looking at an average from around 320 at the lowest to around 340 at its highest in regards to the chrono. So for my indoor CQB guys, basically you're looking over there, this is the perfect right at FPS for you guys. I'm looking at you, TaxiDN1. Again, but if you always wanted to change your FPS to be a little bit stronger, there are a couple ways to basically to help out with the outdoor fields is by doing a couple tricks, like for example extending your inner barrel a little bit just to make it outdoor friendly. So what basically comes in the gun, other than the ARP 2.0 itself, is basically the stuff that you would need extra. As well to that is your 170 round mid-cap magazine. What's also important that comes with it is your ARP 2.0 manual in regards of troubleshooting situations, and as well to that, how to break it down if you need to for certain reasons. Also, as well to that, you do have is your 90-day warranty authenticity card and warranty card from 101 Tech or G&G themselves to help out with in regards of any other contact information. If you have any issues, just contact them, or you can contact us at airsoftmaster.com if you have any other issues and we can help you out in assistance. And lastly, the 2023 catalog from G&G for the new products that you'll see coming out soon. So for G&G basically to come out with the ARP 2.0 right in the same time around the ARP 3.0, again, gives them more variable options for you to decide on what would be the perfect PCC for you. Specifically, if you need that one for like the close quarter situations when you basically are DMR guys, or as well to that if you're playing like in the close quarter areas inside in indoor fields or even close quarter outside fields, that would be helpful. One thing I do like about the 2.0 is the improvements that they did compared to the 1.0 is, again, a lot longer everywhere all throughout. Again, I am comfortable with the 7-inch rail itself, and as well to that the extended buffer tube to help out. What's also nice about the stock end is that it's actually adjustable. You can just take out the grub screws and make it a little bit longer if you need that for your right size length on basically stabilizing the rifle. And at the same time, if you have your old magazines, this is a nice plus, so you won't have to worry about the battery issues as well. And again, a brand new gun to help out with the whole situations. What's nice is as well for parts in regards of changing and compatibility, it's still the same way with known for G&G to help out in changing parts. For example, our display one here, we even put the standard buffer tube on here, which does help out in mine for my SpeedQB guys. But again, hey, to each his own opinion. If you guys want to check out these rifles, go ahead and check it out at airsoftmaster.com, and also put a comment below on what you guys think about the ARP 2.0. Again, this is Mike from Airsoft Masters. I'll see you guys on the next episode. Also, stay tuned for another special episode for G&G side when we do another review gun that came out from.
This video is brought to you by Airsoft Master.